All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today to learn about on-campus housing for graduate students. My name is Taylor, and I am Manager of Housing Administration for York University. And I'll let Sukmani introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I am Sukmani and I'm the Community Life Coordinator for York Apartments.
So what is graduate housing? Here at York University, we have apartment-style spaces reserved for graduate and law students and students that have families like spouses and children. These are self-contained apartments in 6 different buildings. We have a mix of furnished and unfurnished options in bachelor 1 and 2 bedroom spaces. And our policies follow the Ontario Residential Tenancies Act, and we accept applications year-round. So there is no start and end date for applications. At any point after you've applied for residence, applied for school, you can apply for housing. All of our units come in furnished and unfurnished options. We do have a limited number of unfurnished options available, as most of our students do prefer living in furnished spaces. You can request your preference for furnished or unfurnished in your application. However, offers are sent based on what's available at the time. So if you requested an unfurnished unit, but all we have is furnished, that will be something that you are sent. And if it doesn't work for you, we can work with you on what the next steps would be for that. The size of the apartments vary across the unit and building type. So the 1 bedrooms in one building might not be the exact same layout as the 1 bedrooms in another building. So this is an example of one of our bachelor units. So a bachelor is a 1-room unit that combines the sleeping area, living space, and the kitchen, and has a separate bathroom. So eligibility for these spaces is a single student for our fire codes. And then we have our 1-bedroom unit. So this is a unit that has a defined bedroom, a separate living and kitchen space, and a separate bathroom. So students that are eligible for this space are single students or students that have a spouse. We also have 2-bedroom units. So these are similarly as the 1-bedroom, they have 2 bedrooms and living space and kitchen with a separate bathroom. So the eligibility for these spaces are either 2 York University graduate students or other eligible students, students that have children, or students with a spouse and children. We also have 2-bedroom penthouses. So these are slightly larger apartments that have 2 different floors. So the bedrooms and bathroom are up on the upper floor, and then the living, kitchen, and dining are on the lower level of the unit. Eligibility for these is the same as the other 2 bedrooms. So either 2 eligible students, students with children, or a student with spouse. Something to note about these bedrooms or these units is that there is no elevator up to these units. The elevator goes to the floor below. So we have 6 different buildings. We have our Atkinson building, which contain unfurnished units, non-carpeted flooring that has 9 floors with elevator access. We have our Passy building, which is all furnished units, has carpeted and non-carpeted options, 4 floors with no elevator access. And then we have our Forest and Aboyne buildings, which have furnished and unfurnished options. They have carpeted and uncarpeted flooring, 16 to 18 floors depending on which building you're in, and then has elevator access except to the penthouse units. Our unfurnished units contain a refrigerator, stove, and window coverings. All other furnishings, such as tables, chairs, beds, dressers, etc., are supplied by the resident. And then we have our furnished units, which contain all of the pieces of an unfurnished unit, plus things such as sofa, beds, chairs, desk, etc. And those specific number of those pieces depends on the size of the unit. So what's in a bachelor unit would be less than what's available in a 2-bedroom, of course. The cost of your apartments depends on the building and the type of unit. So overarchingly, we do not have an application fee. You can apply once you have applied to school, and your application will stay there until you're admitted. Rates are charged monthly and include heat, hydro, and water, all of your utilities. Telephone, cable TV, parking, and laundry are extra. However, laundry is in building. And wireless internet is also included through Air York Plus. The rates here are effective as of this coming January. So our bachelor units start at $1,508. Our one bedrooms start at $1,813. And our two bedrooms start at $2,144. Of course, this all depends on, which building you're offered, etc. How do you apply? Students are eligible to apply once they apply to a full-time degree program at York University. All you have to do is go to yorku.ca/housing and select Prospective York Apartments student. And then on that page, we have our application linked directly on that page, which will take you to our housing portal. You then log in with your Passport York credentials. If you haven't activated that at that point, you'll be prompted to do it when you try to log in. And then you just click apply now and begin that process. It should take about 15 to 20 minutes to fill out. You do not have to fill it out in one sitting. You can come back to it anytime. You can press save and then exit and then come back into that same point in the future. The application will cover information such as your emergency contact, your preferences, if you have any sharers, so that could be another York University student or a spouse or child, their information would be added in there, as well as the term that you're looking for when you want to start. And then if you have any accommodated housing requests. It's really important to be ready to upload certain documents like proof of relationship for spouses and children, or your own admission letter if you've been admitted already, or that of a sharer if they are going to be a York student as well. We do have accommodated housing options available to meet the needs of our students with physical disabilities. So it'll be asked as part of the application if you have any accommodation needs. And then through that, we'll connect you with student accessibility services who will work with you to determine what the needs of the space would be. And then they meet back with us to make sure that those needs are met within our space. In the housing portal is kind of where all of your housing information will be kept. So after an application, that's where you will go and accept an offer, upload your lease documents, fill out forms, maintenance, etc. So if you want to change your gender, preferred name, pronouns, registered pets, etc., you can go to the housing portal and change that anytime via My Details. But there are certain information that is brought into us directly from the university. So that would be your email, your legal name, those types of things come in directly from the university. So you'd have to change that through the student information portal, and then it will be updated in our system thereafter. So getting an offer for York Apartments, offers are sent usually 6 to 8 weeks prior to your anticipated arrival date. So if you are hoping to arrive in early November, usually you'll get your offer in September. And then upon receiving an offer, you will have to respond in the application portal to secure the unit. The unit number will not be included, but the building and room type will be included in that offer. And then you can register your pets if you have any at this time. And again, there's no application fee or deposit needed at this point. So then closer to your move-in, so about 1 to 2 weeks prior, you'll be sent another email asking you to sign your tenancy. This is when the actual unit number will be included. And that's when you can upload all of your documents, and then we will review them and then let you know that they are ready to go. I'll pass it off to Sigmani.
Thank you, Taylor. In my role, I work closely with students in York Apartments, and the primary focus of the Community Life program is to assist students in navigating campus or community resources should that need arise. We want to make sure you're in the best possible position to succeed during your time at York and during your time at York Apartments. Throughout the year, we host a lot of community engagement activities. We have some social events and educational programs that are specifically designed for York Apartments residents. And we also create a lot of passive engagement opportunities through emails, newsletters, and posters in your building. There is an intentional focus on supporting interpersonal relationships in the building and creating opportunities for students to engage with other residents. Some past and upcoming programming that over the last year and continuing into this year are on the slides. We've had a welcome mixer this September and last September that was very well attended. We've done walking Wednesdays and run clubs, and this is a great outdoor engagement opportunity that encourages students to form their own small groups to go running on their own time. It's also space for parents to bring running strollers or their children. So a lot of our programming is also family friendly and kid friendly. We've done Halloween trick or treating, which we facilitated with parents and residents, and we continue to do fireside chats with campus partners who come in and host programming and conversations specific to the needs of York Apartments residents. Some additional supports that we offer through the Community Life program are mediation and conduct support and mental health support. So, when you're living in York Apartments, if you experience conflict with another resident, the CLC will provide mediation and conduct support and address the situation under the RDA. We also provide a lot of mental health support and work individually with students in coming up with support plans. We do on-call supports as the residence life team together to students in York Apartments when they experience distress. So a lot of the focus of my role and residence life is in providing mental health supports and any distress supports whenever it involves a student or a neighbor or a partner or any family that lives with us in York Apartments. So, when needed, we also involve outside resources, and these resources are culturally specific when needed because we want to make sure we're providing you the best support and we're also addressing any tailored needs that might come up during your stay in York Apartments.
Thank you so much for learning about your compartments with us today. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A or in the chat, and we'll answer them as they come in. And we hope you have a great day if there's no questions that come in.